Now let's take a look at today's business headlines. And for help with that, we're going to welcome in Executive Vice President of the Commonwealth Foundation and Fellow at Independent Women's Forum, Jennifer Stefano, and Accounting Professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Alex.
Morning, Alex.
All right, let's start with the markets like we always do, which closed down yesterday. S&P losing 1%. NASDAQ breaking its 5-day winning streak. And this morning, futures are also down. All right, and among the stocks with a down day, Twitter, which fell 11% yesterday. And of course, that's following the news that Elon Musk was terminating his $44 billion deal to buy the social media giant. It wiped out nearly $2 billion in market value. Now, Twitter says it's pursuing legal action against Musk. So, Jennifer, can Twitter sue Musk? And just how bad is this for the company?
They can try, but I think the win here goes to Musk. As part of any sale of a business, the business has to open its books and show how it generates its revenue. What Musk has said is, you have to show me that how many users you have, because that's how Twitter generates the majority of its revenue. If the percentage of bots that they say, which is about 5%, is not correct, or they can't prove that or show that there's not more of a problem there, I think Musk has the winning hand here.
Dan, what are your thoughts on Musk's actions, and how could this affect all of the other companies that he owns?
So what happens here, no matter what, Twitter is the loser. No matter whether Elon wins or not, Twitter is the loser because the company is taking a beating in its stock value. I don't see any path to success for Twitter here. As far as how this impacts other companies, well, you know, do we have the same situation of all these fake accounts, which is the basis of advertising, as Jen was pointing out before? So this is probably going to expose all of these tech companies to how many fake users do you really have?
Oh, yeah, that's a great point, Dan. All right, well, meanwhile, the national average price of gas remains at near record highs, $4.65, which is a drop from 39 cents from a month ago. Now, that's partially due to President Biden draining the national strategic oil reserves. Jennifer, is this a good sign for Americans, and what will happen when it comes time to refill the oil reserves?
No, it's never a good sign when the president inappropriately uses oil reserves just to lower prices. That's not the point of the oil reserves. It's for an emergency. And I think the continuing dim outlook that people have on President Biden and his prospects for a second term, even Democrats, more than 60% of them, don't think President Biden should run for a second term. I say that impacts gas prices and economics because I don't see a recovery here until people have leadership that they can believe in. So I think you're going to continue to see pain at the pump because of bad policies, and also because there's a general negative outlook right now by Americans on the prospects for our country.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Frontier is asking Spirit Airlines to once again delay its shareholder vote to allow shareholders the time to consider the, quote, best and final offer. So, Dan, where does Frontier stand in the bidding war with JetBlue over Spirit Airlines?
It's a pretty interesting scenario here because clearly they don't have the votes to make the deal happen, or at least the perception is it may be too close to call. So until you can get the majority of shareholders to stand behind this deal, well, then it simply doesn't happen. Now, as we know, JetBlue is lurking, and they certainly would like to get in on this. But I guess it's one deal at a time right now. So we'll have to see if this one goes. If for some reason it doesn't, I think we see JetBlue ready to pounce.
Okay. I have some good news for you both. Now, as we wait for the latest inflation numbers, the one item you won't see a price hike on, Costco's hot dogs. So, Jennifer, why is Costco's CEO determined to keep the signature food court item at the same price?
Couple of reasons. It's tradition. Costco has always done this since they first started. It's a major loss leader, but it's part of the brand. It's part of who and what they are. And you never want to lose that, even in a downward economic turn. Look, they're never going to make the bulk of their money off of hot dogs. They do it. Their brand is excellent customer service, good value, friendly people, being able to have simplicity in buying, right? They don't have multiple options for things. And that food court, people love the pizza. People love that they can get a hot dog. And remember, your water, 25 cents, always has been. That is a loss leader that wins every time for Costco. It's part of who they are.
Yeah, those are some great deals. I do want to stay with Costco for a second. Breaking Bad fans, now if you're lucky, you could actually bump into two of the show's stars at your local Costco location. Okay, Dan, what are Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul doing here?
Well, they're peddling booze. How about that instead of drugs? Listen, these guys are so popular. Anytime they're going to show up anywhere, people are going to follow. So now that you have Costco locations that are selling liquor, are selling their brand, they're out there making the push for it. So good for them, and fans get a chance to see them in person.
Absolutely. All right, Jennifer Stefano, Dan Geltrude, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us, Alex.
Of course. All right.